Hi, Fabian Wright, Technical Infrastructure Manager for Citrix Systems, and I'm here with Ed Duncan, who is a Senior Consultant for Worldwide Consulting Services. Ed, how's it going?
Pretty good, Fabian. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you are here with me today.
Sure.
So as you guys know, we're running the Powered by Citrix campaign, and Ed is, in addition to being a Senior Consultant, he works very closely with the engineering team that has developed the infrastructure at Synergy. So Ed, can you tell me something about what you've done supporting our event?
Okay, well, for this event, what we're going to be doing for Synergy, we're going to be expanding, building upon of what we built in the first Synergy in San Francisco, but we're sort of taking a different approach. For this first Synergy we built, we've sort of focused on the desktop transformation model, but delivering the virtual desktop to every attendee. Mm-hmm. This one, we're taking a different approach where we're actually building the infrastructure that's going to be powering a lot of the events that's going to be occurring at Synergy, from the registration desk to the Internet Access Center, all of that, all of those different
session scanning,
yes, exactly.
BYO mobility experience,
yes,
yeah, and registration,
yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to be actually be powered and run on the Morpheus infrastructure that we built this time. So that's the twist that we have this time as compared to the first Synergy.
Mm-hmm. So those Citrix products that you're using in your infrastructure, what are they?
Okay, well this time we are using pretty much all the newer releases from the previous Synergy events. So in the first one we used XenApp 6. This one we're going to be using XenApp 6.5 to deliver applications specifically for the registration and for the session tracking events. We're using Zen Desktop 5.5 to deliver virtual desktop. Well, we're going to be delivering pool desktops to the registration center and for a few of the other events, and we're going to be delivering dedicated desktops specifically for the Dell and the Cisco booths. And we're also at this time implementing Zen Server 6, which is something that we hadn't done in the previous Synergy event in San Francisco. With Zen Server 6, it's a product that's not even out yet.
So it's still in beta?
It's hit RTM now, but when the time we started testing everything, building everything when Zen Server 6 was still in beta.
How long ago did you develop or start this infrastructure?
Well, we did the planning, say about 2 months ago when we really start the delve down and do the planning for this event. But when we started the build process about a month ago. And during that time, like I said, when we started with Zen Server 6 beta, and we ran into some few issues that comes along when you're dealing with the beta product, but we were able to resolve those issues with the new releases, and finally with the RTM build, we finally have a working environment.
So you work closely with the product teams, I'm sure, those
Yes.
engineers to say, hey, we've run across this issue, so I'm sure you're on the phone quite often, like working on the resolution.
Yes.
What is that like? I mean, the response time, and for me, I guess it would be a benefit for the product team to know some of these pain points that you experience.
Exactly. One of the things that we started out with was delivering the virtual desktop using Zen Desktop 5.5 and with Machine Creation Services, MCS. And some of the things that we're running into is that the desktops themselves weren't being, we couldn't generate them. We were getting specific errors. And so we got in touch with the development team themselves and they, hey, have you guys run into this situation? And we got a response back immediately letting us know that, okay, please wait for this build or try it again when this build number comes out, because we should have those issues addressed or fixed when that comes out.
So Synergy attendees on site will have the opportunity to not only experience a Citrix product, but have a demo or a beta of a product that is yet to be released.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they would get a first-hand look, a first-hand experience of the Zen Server 6. Also get, a lot of them may not have worked with XenApp 6.5 or Zen Desktop at 5. We'll be able to showcase those new versions of the applications as well, so they get the hands-on look and feel and ask us questions about some of the things that we've seen, some of the things that we've countered using those versions. So we're truly showcasing our latest features, showcasing our latest products.
Now, the underlying infrastructure that's supporting the desktop transformation model, I'm sure is not just Zen Server or Zen Desktop. What is the hardware that's supporting that environment?
Well, for the hardware, we are working with two vendors. We're working with Cisco to deliver the virtual desktops, and we are working with Dell. We actually use Dell to build the server infrastructure. So what we have a combination of two hypervisor environments. We're using Hyper-V for the desktop side, and we're using Zen Server for the server side. And we have the Zen server side running on the Dell equipment. We have the Hyper-V virtual desktops running on the Cisco environments. And that combination of the two hypervisors, what we're able to show, which is something that we didn't have or didn't show in Synergy because we didn't have the
Synergy San Francisco?
San Francisco, because we didn't have the technology at the time, was showing how the two environments can interact and work together seamlessly. Basically, this actually goes into one of the tools that we're using this time that's different from what we use in San Francisco, and that's specifically centered around Microsoft System Center Virtual Machine Manager. With version 2012.
Say that a little slower, because that was Microsoft
System Center
Virtual Machine Manager.
Virtual Machine Manager.
Okay.
Yes. In San Francisco, we used version 2008, which was fine for what we were trying to accomplish there. But with this version, we're using 2012, which has the ability to integrate not only Hyper-V, but also Zen Server and VMware hypervisors.
Okay.
So it's truly a tool that makes, on the back end, the hypervisor agnostic. And so what we wanted to show is that we're able to build an environment of not only the desktops, but also the server infrastructure running on two different hypervisors, but using one tool to manage the entire environment.
Wow. So that one tool is the
System Center Virtual Machine Manager.
Okay, excellent. That's a mouthful. I wouldn't even attempt to say that. Considering the staff that's required to support this infrastructure, and I know you can't do this alone, so how many people make up your team, and what type of resources do you require?
Okay, well, actually for this project, our team was, well, let me rephrase that. The immediate team was fairly small. It was myself. There was also an architect, Thomas Berger, the architect who architected the entire solution. And we also had another person assisting us on the networking side of things, a member on my team. Actually, I want to give him, can I give a shout out?
Of course you can, that's not a problem.
To Peter Smurge, he's another member of the Citrix Consulting Solutions team who greatly assisted us with setting up the networking piece behind the scenes. But it all started with Tarkin and Thomas working together. Tarkin sort of came up the brainstorm, the whole idea of Project Morpheus, and Thomas architected the entire solution. And I worked closely with Thomas to get everything built. So we were the immediate teams, but also we worked closely with some of the product teams.
Okay.
Specifically, like I said, since we were dealing with products that were still either coming off being beta releases or still beta moving into RTM phase, there's not a lot of documentation or things that we can draw upon.
So you guys are really writing the book as you go along.
Yes.
Documenting everything, I'm sure, of course.
Exactly.
But at the same time, just writing everything as you
writing everything down, and also put together while we're doing this. Some things that we're also keeping in mind too is to keep track of the things that we encounter, the issues that we run into, keeping a guide of best practices so we can say, okay, this is what we ran into. So if anybody else, especially who's going to be attending the event, just wants to take away what they see and go back to their environments and do the same thing, we can say, okay, this is what we ran into. These are some of the things that you need to be aware of.
So this process of going through and writing the manual as you go along, you document that, and then you publicize it and you make it known. How is it shared? Is it through like blogs or online documentation?
Yeah, actually we use several different medias to deliver this information. Blogs is a popular way of doing it because it's probably the quickest and one of the easiest ways to get the information out there.
I know Thomas has written a really popular blog about the experience from San Francisco, Project Morpheus, and some things that were learned and acquired that has gotten a good response, both from our customers and also our partners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So blogs is one of the easiest ways we can get the information out there. But there's also white papers that we put together.
Okay.
There's going to be information specifically around when the products reach the release date, that we're going to have information up in the eDocs for like certain things for like for Zen Center, for example, how to implement Zen Center to perform certain functions. There's some information out there now, but it's slowly being reworked or being I'm looking for a good word. Information is going to change as the product matures, and as we work through some of the issues that we're seeing.
The more and more experience you have with it, of course, I guess you'll learn more things or learn different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of what the consulting team, Citrix Consulting Solution team provides. information that we can get out not only to our customers but also to our partners about things that we've encountered, things that we've run into, and just a good best practices that can be followed if somebody else wants to take what we started here and run with it and do it or implement it in their organizations as well.
One of the things that I think is good is that we saw the need, we being, from corporate events and looking at synergy from the technology that we use to host and sponsor the event, we saw a need to engage with consulting services and say, you know what, let's take this opportunity to, one, leverage the infrastructure for the desktop transformation model and incorporate that into our build of synergy. Me having the responsibility of managing the team that provides the infrastructure for the Internet Access Center, the bring your own mobility experience, registration, session scanning. So having the opportunity to work together has afforded us some unique experiences, or a unique experience, and that is has been a benefit of this, being able to see us as a customer and then having Citrix technology put at the forefront. Now, how has it been for you coming from the consulting side, working with the needs and the requirements of this event?
Actually, it has not, in my opinion, not have been that differently from the way we engage our customers, because there's a certain methodology or a certain methodology that the consulting services team follows, and we pretty much went through the exact same procedures when we were doing with this project.
And so what is that, the assessment?
There's the assessment where we gather information about what the customer wants to accomplish, and then we move into a test phase to see if we can apply and come up with a solution that the customer needs. And then we go through, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut that because there's design phase before the test phase.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I forgot that. So we go through the assessment phase.
Start the phases over there.
Start from the question if you can.
Start from the question? Okay, cool. What are the phases that's required in implementing an infrastructure that supports an event like Synergy?
Okay, well, for something like this, what the consulting team does, we have a methodology that we follow when we doing any of these type of engagements. And we pretty much follow the same process when we were doing this event. There's an assessment phase where we gather information, gather requirements about what the customer wants to do, what they're trying to accomplish. Then there's a design phase where we can have one of our architects, in this case Thomas, to come up with an idea or a plan centered around the information that we gathered and come up with a practical design that we can implement. Then we move to our testing phase where we actually build what he designed and see if what we actually have is practical or not. And then once we meet those requirements that the customer is looking to accomplish, then we can go and move into our final implementation phase. And so we followed those methodologies to the T when we went through this engagement.
So I know Synergy is coming up for us in a matter of weeks, which is almost scary. But I also know that your team has packed everything up and is shipping it off to Spain.
Yes.
What has been your time frame for this entire phase of testing and assessment and implementation?
Well, almost immediately from the end of Synergy San Francisco, we started the planning phases of what we were going to do for Synergy Barcelona.
Oh, so way back as far as May.
Yeah, it went as far back as then, because we sort of, at the end of Synergy San Francisco, sat together and came up with what were some of the lessons learned from that event. What are some of the things that we can look to do differently for Synergy Barcelona? And working with your teams, we were able to see, okay, we can move beyond of trying to deliver or showcase the desktop transformation model for every attendee. Now we can actually show a practical application of the desktop transformation model being put into place by supporting the different tech teams that's going to be at Synergy Barcelona. So we're taking it up a level.
Yeah,
so
we really have.
Yes.
I mean, from the BYO experience where we have the BYO experience where we have Citrix Receiver going on those mobile devices and smart tablets and phones. The Internet Access Center where we have those thin clients that are, given that representation there. Yeah, so it has been a close marriage almost between the two bodies.
Yeah, I mean, before, in my opinion, what we did in Synergy San Francisco is more of showcasing our products. But this time is different. We're actually putting everything to practical use. And not only with our latest products, but we're also working closely in hand with our vendors, with our Microsoft, with Cisco and Dell. So we're showing how the synergy, for lack of a better word, how all those different groups are working together to deliver this solution.
Yeah, so the word does fit. Synergy is it is synergized.
Yes.
Yeah, so all the partners working together with us in order to bring the solution to the table.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you for this opportunity to join us and again to present Synergy that is powered by Citrix. We look forward to seeing you in Barcelona. Again, my name is Fabian Wright, and I'm here with Ed Duckin. See you.